So just a little bit about me first, a quick introduction. So I'm actually celebrating my 20th year in retail loss prevention this year. So tonight, if anybody would like to buy me a drink and help me celebrate, you're more than welcome to do that. But I started my career in retail, high street. Was there for 11 years, moved into grocery, spent 8 years in loss prevention in the grocery sector, latterly working for one of the big 4 grocers. And then I joined Clinton's a year ago. And what I'd like to do today really is just to give you some insight into the journey that I've been on tackling Clinton's loss prevention issues, specifically around one of the premium products which we stock. But of course, I'm sure everybody's been there before. You know, you've got challenges. You know there's a road to go down. There's twists and turns along the way. Sometimes you don't always get where you want to, but eventually you do end up there. So I'd like to, you know, just go through that journey with you today. So a little bit of overview around Clinton's. Hopefully many of you are familiar with the brand. You know, we've been on the high street for a long time. Business was founded in 1968, and we've currently got around 400 stores across the UK. We've branched out into some sort of like other ventures. So we have a Simply Clinton's offering, which is our premium brand stores. And we're also moving into some Party Delight stores and working with one of our suppliers there to make that happen. Recently, the journey for Clinton's was that we were purchased by American Greetings in 2012 on the back of some administration. So, you know, it's been quite tough financially over the last few years. But you know, we've broken the back of that, and we are moving forward quite nicely. Okay, so when I joined the business in June 2015, just give you a little bit of an insight into what I faced. So it was clear that there wasn't a strong culture of loss prevention within the business. Very, very limited resources. Loss prevention not really on other departments' agendas. They weren't thinking about LP and shrink and how it impacts them. Physical security hadn't really kept pace with the rest of the high street, so, you know, we didn't have that infrastructure, and we don't have that infrastructure. And also, one of the challenges has been that we've always relied on the traditional methods of deterring shop theft, customer service, but of course, like all businesses, we have to cut our cloth accordingly. And the savings coming out of reducing those members of staff on the shop floor, ultimately having a bit of an impact on the shrinkage numbers. A business focused mainly on the outputs rather than the inputs, particularly from an LP perspective. So again, got a big challenge addressing that. And then also the LP approach wasn't a total one. Very, very focused on the store and what's going on in the store, but as I'm sure you can all appreciate, LP is a cradle-to-grave approach, and you know, something that I'm trying to install in the business at the moment. So a little bit about why you know, I'm here and why I'm telling you the story. So as a business, it was heavy loss. So, you know, we've got a range that accounts for around 5% of our product range, delivering nearly 30% of our overall losses. So some staggering numbers there when you look at the proportions. When drilling down into the data, we stock a whole host of Yankee products, and it was clear that the large and medium jars within that particular range were contributing to the bulk of that shrink that we were seeing coming out of our business. And it affected most stores. You know, usually you get your top 20, your top 40, your top 50. You know, this had a massive impact in all of our stores, you know, whether they were big turnover, medium turnover or low turnover stores. So is there a cost-effective solution? And that's one of the questions that was posed to me by the CEO and the general manager of Clinton's. One of the things I needed to do was understand more about this particular product and range in the market. Coming from grocery, you know, it's not, you know, you're dealing with fags, booze, cosmetics, you know, it's a strange transition to candles. But, you know, the first thing I needed to do was to understand what was available. So, for me, the first point of call was to engage the vendor. was to engage Yankee themselves. I have 20 years of loss prevention experience, but I think for me it's really important to get that vendor engagement and understand, well, what can you do to protect your product better, you know, within our estate. So I started that journey with the vendor and created what I believe is a sound working relationship with that vendor. And ultimately we were introduced to the manufacturers of Jarloc, which is the product I'd like to talk about today. What I actually like about this product is that it can be a standalone device. So as I said before, we don't have the physical security infrastructure we'd like in our retail stores. So I needed to find something that could protect, that could deter theft in a cost-effective way. So, you know, being a standalone solution or compatible with EAS has benefits for me, particularly if I make those investments further down the line. That's how it fits in. So it's quite unique in terms of fitting under the neck. It locks into position with a key. And then when the device is applied to the product, it's not obscuring any of the product information. So, you know, I'm pretty sure a few of us in the past who've introduced security products and devices into our retail stores, we do get challenges from marketing or from the buying or merchandising teams about obscuring valuable information on products. This sits within the jar, doesn't obscure any of that information, doesn't affect the look and feel, which also ticks some boxes with some of those other departments within our business. Just a little rundown on what Jarloc's all about.
This is the Jarloc. It's a very easy to use but very effective security device. It's been designed for glass jar handles. It's got a movable tongue, so it can actually fit into different size jars. And there's also a groove here which just protects the wick, so there's no damage to the handle at all when you use it. You just simply take the lid off of the jar, and then it just slots in very easily. There's a key which just locks it into place, so it can't be moved, and then simply place the lid back on.
If only they all stopped and turned back into the store, eh? Okay, so hopefully that gives you a bit of an insight into the product and what it's all about. So having identified this, other retailers were trialling and implementing this product into their organisation. So, you know, the supplier was very kindly sharing some of the data with us. However, I needed to understand how that worked within our environment. You can't just go off what other people do in their business. You know, it's a different environment. So what we did is we took 10 stores, a selection of 10 stores which had high shrink, and the sales impact was quite large as well, to understand the halo effect of implementing this product. We tried it over Christmas, which was quite a contentious subject. Normally as retailers we don't try anything over our golden quarter. But the needs of the business were so that we had no choice. We really did need to find a solution. So we trialled it over the three-month period, and then at the end we counted the stock before, trialled it, counted it afterwards. We used our year-end inventory process to provide the final results, so we had a clean set of data, and this is pretty much what we saw in those stores. So, you know, a 20% sales increase, you know, is just phenomenal. You know, and yes, we would expect to see that, bringing it back from the counter, but you know, 20% was great. Everybody in the business was happy to see that. The customers were happy, so our regulars who had been able to access Yankee from the shelves were no longer able to access it when it was behind the counter, so it upset some of our customer base, and of course they were very, very happy to see that product back out so they could touch, feel and smell it. More sales means more orders for the vendor, so clearly, you know, the more stock we sell, Yankee as a vendor are also piggybacking the success of that too. But more importantly, you know, what we actually saw was a 35% reduction in our shrinkage numbers when we compared out live versus, you know, with Jarloc, without Jarloc. So that 35% reduction across jars was also fantastic to see. So the next steps really for Clinton's was, you know, with that success, with the improved sales and reduction in shrink, you know, we needed to make a decision about how we move forward. Ultimately, the CEO of Clinton's decided it was the product we needed to go forward with to help drive sales, and ultimately we rolled out to all of our stores this product in Q1 of this year. We were also supported by the vendor with video training material, so similar to what you've seen here today, in order to get better engagement from our store teams and our members of staff. You know, we introduced some application videos, some detached videos, you know, some general housekeeping, and that went really well. I'm really pleased with the engagement with the vendor on that. The most important thing, though, from this whole journey that we've been on here at Clinton's is that we are able to sell a premium brand on our shop floor, accessible to the customers, and driving the sales, you know. That's the most important thing. We're not sales prevention, we are loss prevention, and it is about giving the business what it needs so it can merchandise its products and fulfill its sales as it needs. So really, really pleased with the success so far. That's it from me. Thank you very much. Any questions?